Thanks for clicking. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this one.
You could tell a lot about someone by how they treated people they thought were beneath them. And by that logic, Carla Hargrave was a queen of cruelty. She married my dad 6 months after my mom passed away. Fast. Suspiciously fast. The grief hadn't even dried when he started wearing cologne again and going out for walks in dress shoes. I was 23 at the time, old enough to smell BS but too tired to start a war over it. I lived out of state, ran my own business and only came back for holidays. Which meant Carla moved into the house I grew up in like she was redecorating her future. She was charming in public, sweet voice, perfect posture, fake humility, but behind closed doors? A passive-aggressive hurricane. "You're staying in the guest room," she said the first Christmas I visited. "That's my room." "Well, I turned your old room into a yoga studio. Hope you don't mind." She reorganized the kitchen, tossed out my mom's china, and referred to my late mother as his first wife, like she was a historical footnote. I bit my tongue. I didn't come home to fight. I had bigger things going on. I owned a tech consulting firm that had just landed its first $1 million contract. But Carla didn't know that. She thought I was some broke, drifting, between things millennial. And I let her. That was her first mistake. Carla liked to assert dominance in subtle ways. She planned every meal, made family decisions without consulting me, and once told her son, my new stepbrother Brian, that I was not a real sibling, just technically related. He believed her. Brian was 19, arrogant, lazy, and proudly unemployed. He played video games in the den all day and only came out to insult my clothes or ask for gas money. Carla praised him like he was a prodigy. "You should get a real job like Brian," she once said. I owned a 6-figure company. But okay, Carla. The final straw came the week before my dad's birthday. He was turning 60, and Carla took full control of the party planning. She sent me a group message with Brian and herself. "Just confirming, everyone will chip in $500 for the party costs." $500? For a backyard barbecue? I replied, "That's steep. What's the breakdown?" She messaged privately. "If you can't afford it, just say so. No shame in being on a budget." Then followed up with, "We can always give you chores to help offset your share. Cleaning, setting up, things like that. Just be helpful." That was it. No more passive silence. No more smiling through disrespect. She thought I was broke? Thought I could be managed like help? Cool. Let's play. I told her I'd do the chores. I'd help. I wouldn't chip in. She smirked like she'd won something. I cleared my calendar, booked a week at a hotel nearby, and showed up early, ready to set the trap. Malicious compliance? No. Revenge. I arrived 4 days before the party, dressed for the part. Plain jeans, neutral hoodie, no makeup, no jewelry. I looked like someone scraping by. That was important. Carla greeted me with an awkward hug and an even more awkward smile. "I wasn't sure you'd actually come early," she said. "We have a lot to do." Translation: I have a list and I expect you to shut up and do it. She handed me a handwritten checklist on floral stationery. Clean the patio furniture. Power wash the deck. Pick up decorations. Ice and drinks run. Food prep assistant, kitchen duties under Carla's supervision. She underlined that last one twice. I smiled and said, "Happy to help." Over the next 2 days I worked like a saint. Scrubbed the patio. Hauled coolers. Took Brian to the store after he accidentally drained the car battery, leaving the lights on overnight. He didn't say thank you. Carla, meanwhile, kept barking passive orders like I was an unpaid intern. "Sweetie, can you grab that? Don't put that there. Maybe try not to look so tired while guests are around?" And I took it all, grinning. Because while I mopped and chopped and kept my head down, I was quietly setting the stage. Behind the scenes, I made moves. First, I rented a luxury car, sleek black Mercedes coupe, and had it scheduled for delivery mid-party. Driver included. Then I called a catering company. A better one than Carla's grocery store cold-cut tray budget. I booked them under my name with strict instructions. They were backup. Third, I invited my own guest to the party. Nina Ramos. My VP of operations. Charismatic, stylish, and sharp as hell. I asked her to pose as my date. Told her to dress like $1 million. "You want the casually elite look?" she asked. "Exactly. And call me boss a couple times." "Oh," she laughed. "We're about to have fun, aren't we?" The day of the party arrived. Carla was in rare form, zipping around in a designer apron like a reality show contestant, yelling at everyone, including me, for standing still too long. Brian was setting up the speakers and complaining loudly about being sober. My dad? Still sweet, still tired. He thanked me quietly while Carla wasn't looking. You've done a lot, he whispered. I like doing things for people who appreciate it, I replied. He gave me a knowing look. At 4 p.m. the guests began to arrive. Old friends, extended family, neighbors. I stayed out of the way, helping in the kitchen per Carla's list. And then right at 5:30 p.m., the Mercedes rolled up the driveway. Nina stepped out first, black heels, gold dress, hair perfect. I followed behind in a tailored navy suit I'd kept hidden in my hotel room. The effect was immediate. People stared. Heads turned. Carla dropped a bowl of pasta salad. Brian actually choked on his beer. Who is that? Carla asked, her voice tight. My girlfriend, I said. And VP of my company. I handed Carla a printed flyer for my consulting firm. She took it like it might explode. Nina flashed her billion-dollar smile. Pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much. Then, as planned, she turned to me and said, Boss, should we have brought the champagne ourselves, or do you think they actually chilled it right this time? Carla's jaw clenched so hard I thought her molars might shatter. But it didn't stop there. At 6 p.m. the backup catering team arrived, confused but ready. I greeted them warmly. Oh, sorry for the mix-up. You're no longer needed, but feel free to enjoy the party on me. Everything's paid. They joined the crowd like unexpected VIPs. Carla turned pale. Then came the slideshow. Carla had compiled a presentation celebrating my dad's life, with her narrating. Only she didn't realize my cousin had replaced the USB drive with mine. So instead of a romantic photo montage of her and Dad, the TV lit up with photos of Mom. Happy, laughing, beautiful. Carla tried to stop it. Dad stopped her. She was my wife for 27 years, he said. She deserves to be in this too. Carla sat down. Didn't say a word for the next hour. As night fell and lights flicked on across the yard, people clinked glasses and danced to old Motown. I stood by the patio, sipping champagne with Nina, watching Carla shrink. People approached me. That's what I did. Offered referrals. Brian's eyes widened when someone casually asked for my business card. I handed him one too. You run a company? He asked. Two actually. The consulting firm and a non-profit. Why didn't you ever say? You never asked. Carla came over just before the night ended, face red and stiff. I didn't know who you were, she said quietly. I smiled, friendly as ever. You treated me like help. So I acted like help. I just happened to be the help that drives a Benz and owns 40% of a downtown office building. She opened her mouth, closed it again, walked away. Nina raised her glass. To revenge. To restraint, I said. And timing. The fallout was quiet. No screaming. No confrontations. No flipped tables or soap opera level drama. Just awkward silence and slow realization. That night I returned to my hotel, slipped off my heels and watched the texts roll in. Cousin Lex, that slideshow was legendary. My aunt, you looked like your mother when you smiled at the end. Even one from Brian, hey, if your company's hiring? I didn't reply to that last one. Carla spent the next few days acting like the party hadn't happened. She avoided me in the house, mumbled when she needed something and made a point of being extremely polite, as if that would undo years of treating me like furniture. I let her twist, because the final play was already in motion. 2 weeks after the party, my dad invited me to lunch. Just the two of us. Old cafe near the park. The kind of place Mom used to love. He was quieter than usual, turning his spoon in his coffee like it was a meditation. She didn't take it well, he finally said. Carla? He nodded. She thinks you embarrassed her. I didn't say anything untrue. I know, he said. Which is what makes it worse for her. We sat in silence for a moment. Then he said something I didn't expect. I'm updating the trust. I looked up. What? He slid a folder across the table. It was always meant to go to you. But I wanted to believe Carla would be different. She's not. And I've seen now what you've built, how you carry yourself. You have my name, but you don't need it. You earned everything on your own. So this isn't a gift, it's a recognition. I opened the folder. The house. The land. The business investments. The savings accounts. All going to me. Carla would be fine. He left her a living allowance, a car, and a condo somewhere sunny. But the legacy? The real family foundation? That was mine now. When I returned to the house to pick up a few boxes, Carla was waiting. She wore pearls. Always with the pearls when she wanted to project wealth. I suppose you're feeling very proud of yourself, she said. Not really. Just clear. I know what you did. You humiliated me. No, Carla. You humiliated yourself. I just let you think I had no power so you could show your real face." She took a breath like she was about to fire off something vicious, then stopped. She realized it wouldn't land. "Not anymore. You think money makes you better than me?" "No," I said. "But it does make it easier to walk away from people like you." I left her standing there, in a living room she once thought she'd claimed, surrounded by walls I now legally owned. On the drive back to my office I thought about Mom. About how she used to say, "You don't always have to fight to win. Sometimes you just have to last longer than the storm." Turns out she was right. 6 months later, I hosted a charity gala at one of my properties. Black tie. Silent auction. Local press. Nina at my side looking like a queen. Carla wasn't invited. But Brian came. He wore a decent suit and shook my hand like he meant it. "Still not hiring," I said with a smile. He laughed. "Didn't come for a job. Just wanted to say you were right. About her. About everything." That was enough. The gala was a hit. We raised $200,000 for a women's mentorship program. I gave a short speech. Didn't mention Carla once. Didn't need to. Some revenge is loud. But the best kind? Is when you succeed exactly the way they said you couldn't, without ever lowering yourself to their level. The end.
And that, my friends, is how you handle a toxic stepmother without shouting, scheming, or throwing drinks. Just patient silence and power they never saw coming. This wasn't about revenge through cruelty. This was about calculated grace. About letting someone reveal their true character, while you calmly wait in the background, building your life, stacking your wins, and preparing for the day when the mask slips. Carla assumed money meant power, and because she thought the main character had none, she acted like a tyrant. But the truth? The real power wasn't the money. It was the composure, the strategy, the ability to wait until the moment was right, and then let reality handle the revenge. Have you ever had someone treat you poorly, only for them to completely change their tune when they found out what you were really worth? How did you handle it? If you were in the main character's shoes, would you have gone quiet like she did, or would you have snapped back earlier? I want to hear your stories. Whether it was a family drama, a workplace snub, or a social situation gone sideways. Tell me how you handled it, or how you wish you had. If this story hit home and hit hard, go ahead and tap that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more true-style revenge stories, malicious compliance wins, and poetic justice. Until next time, be kind to everyone. You never know who's really running the show.